Alright, this video here is going to show you how to work through some of these problems from the transforming formula section of the reteaching 7.7 sheet, and we're going to look at numbers 1 through 8. Alright, for the first example we have the equation y equals mx plus b. We want to rearrange that equation and get the x by itself. So let's look at because it says right here solve it for x. So we're going to look at what's happening to the x. Well, x is being multiplied by m and also has b added to it. So we're going to you typically do the addition subtraction first. So what we're going to do is, since it's adding b, we got to do the opposite of that. So we're going to subtract b on both sides. On the right, when you put these together, that gives you 0. So we have just mx on the right. On the left, those are not like terms, so we can't combine them, so we have to leave it as y minus b. We're still trying to get x by itself. Look what's happening to it now. It's being multiplied by m. Well, to undo that, or do the opposite of that, we're going to divide by m. What you won't do to one side, you got to do to the other. And when you divide by m on the right, we have m divided by m. Well, that gives you 1. So we are now left with x being by itself, and since there are no like terms on the left, we're going to leave it like that. In number 2, we're using the same equation, y equals mx plus b, but now we're going to rearrange it and solve it for m. So look what's happening to m. m is being multiplied by x and also has b added to it. So again, we're going to start by subtracting b on both sides. You do that on the right, that gives you 0, so the only thing that remains on the right is mx. On the left, those are unlike terms, so we have y minus b. And to get m by itself, it's being multiplied by x, so we have to undo that. We're going to divide by x, but what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. This gives you 1 there, so you have m equals y minus b over x. Alright, in number 3 here, we have the formula p equals 6 times s. We want to solve for s, so we're going to rearrange it so s is by itself. So we'll look at the equation, look at the side of the equation where the variable s is being multiplied by 6. That's the only thing that's happening to the s, so that's the only thing we have to undo. Opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. And then on the right, 6 divided by 6 gives you 1. So that gives us s being by itself on the right, and then on the left we still have p divided by 6. In number 4, we have the a equals 1/2 times h times the quantity b, capital B, plus lowercase b. We want to solve it for h. So to undo this, multiplying by 1/2, what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I'm going to rewrite it because I need more space. So we've got this equation. To undo this half or make it 1, we need to multiply both sides of the equation by 2. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2 and this side by 2. When I do that, 2 times 1/2, that gives you 1 there. So on the left we have 2a, on the right we have h times all this in parentheses, capital B plus lowercase b. We want to solve for h. Look what's happening to h. h is being multiplied by all of this. The opposite of multiplying by all of that is to divide by all of it. When you do that, that crosses out, becomes 1, so we have just h on the left. But what you do to one side, you got to do to the other. None of those are like terms, so we are going to leave it as that. In number 5, we have the formula I equals p times r times t. We want to take that and solve for p, so we want to isolate p on the right side. So we want to focus at p. Look at what's happening to p. p has r being multiplied by it and t being multiplied by it. The opposite of multiplying by r and t is to divide by r and t. But what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And as you do that, whatever's the same in the numerator and denominator can cancel. Well, That gives you 1. Those t's, when they divide by each other, gives you 1. So now as we look at it, we have on the left I over RT equals P. P is by itself. In number 6, we have the equation y equals 2 over 3 times x minus 5. Well, x is being multiplied by 2/3, and it also has 5 being subtracted from it. We're going to start by undoing the subtracting by 5, so we're going to add 5 to both sides. On the right, when you put those together, you get 0. So what remains on the right is 2/3 times x. On the left, those are not like terms, so we have to leave it as y plus 5. And the opposite of multiplying by 2/3 is to multiply by the reciprocal. So we can multiply this side by 3/2, and we can multiply this side by 3/2. And when we do that, those 3's give you 1, those 2's give you 1. So on the right, we now have x by itself, which is what we want, and then on the left, we've got 3/2 times y plus 5. In number 7 here, the formula is t equals 0.05 times p. We want to solve it so p is by itself. So again, focus on the side of the equation where the p is. P is being multiplied by 0.05, so the opposite of multiplying by 0.05 is to divide by 0.05. But what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And on the right, when you do 0.05 divided by 0.05, that gives you 1, which then isolates the p on the right, which is what we want. And then we're going to leave this like that on the left. In number 8, we have the volume formula for a rectangular prism. V equals length times width times height. We want to isolate it so that W is by itself. So we got to look at the side of the equation, what's happening to W. Well, W is being multiplied by L and being multiplied by H. The opposite of multiplying, or to undo it, multiplying by L and multiplying by H is to divide by that. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And when you look at the right side, H divided by H gives you 1. L divided by L gives you 1. And we're left with just W on the right side, which is what we want. So there's W by itself. And then on the left, those are not like terms, so we're going to leave it like that.